My name is Lisa. I'm with the Tampa-Hillsborough County Public Library, and I'm here to talk to you about some of the great homework help resources we have for students in Hillsborough County. Come join me. We'll look at a few options for students in elementary school, middle school, and high school, and some tips for parents and caregivers and educators. We're going to look at Tutor.com as our first resource. You can find Tutor.com on our main homepage if you go to the hcplc.org website, look at the tabs across the top. You can either go in through Learning and Research to find homework help, or you can go through hcplc.org/kids under our Services tabs, which will also bring you to our homework help resources. That will have all these great tools grouped together in one spot for you. Once you are on the homework help resource page, you will see Tutor.com as the first option currently. If you're watching this a little bit later, it might be rearranged slightly differently, but you will also always find these resources grouped together. Go ahead and click on that Tutor.com button, and it will bring you to the login page. The login page will appear if you're not at the library. It'll ask you to log in with your library card number and PIN. Remember, students can use their hall pass to log into this resource. Once you've logged in, you're going to find at the top right-hand corner, you'll see an option to create an account or sign in. This is completely optional on Tutor.com unless you are asking for one of the resources that would require them to get back in touch with you. But for any live in the moment resources that you use on here, you would not need to create a separate account. If you are looking to connect with a tutor for a specific question or a topic that you might need a little bit of extra guidance on, click on that Connect with a Tutor button. It'll give you the option to connect with a tutor now, unless you're outside of their available hours. So currently Tutor.com live tutoring is available between 2 p.m. and midnight every day of the week, but only during those hours. If you try to log in earlier than that, you will see this, sorry, we're closed for live help option. But it will point you to other resources that you can look at in the meantime for a little bit of extra worksheets or guidance or troubleshooting. You'll have different options that you can try out instead of the live tutor while you're waiting for that resource to become available. But if you are logging in during their available hours, you'll see this on that screen and you will just click Get a Tutor Now. We'll watch a little video here, show you what it looks like as we're getting signed in here. So once you click that Get a Tutor Now, you're going to find lots of different options, including the different grade levels that you can get help with. So you can either browse by that grade level or by the more specific topic. It'll ask you for what the subject is that you need help with. So for example, here I've chosen a little bit of extra help with Microsoft Excel. It shows you the different grade levels they have help for with that specific topic. Other topics will have different grade level ranges available depending on what the subject is. Once you've chosen your subject and your grade, you just type in a simple statement saying what you're needing help with. So for example, if you need help learning how to find an average between two different numbers or find an average between two different numbers, you would just type that in, click Connect Now, and it would connect you with a tutor that's going to be able to help you with that subject. So this is a resource that works for any different age group, depending on what the subject is, including for adults. So by the topic that I typed in there, you might say, hey, this might not just be for kids learning, this could also be helpful for me. And I have definitely used this resource myself when I've needed some help with technology or software that I was new to. So as you can see on here, there's a large white screen. That's where you can kind of do that whiteboard type troubleshooting with whoever the tutor is that you're connected with, depending on what the topic is. So for math problems, it would let you sketch things out, for example, but otherwise it's going to be in that chat format. Now, after you've gotten the help that you need, you'll see this feedback form that pops up, and it'll ask you for an email address if you wanted to have a transcript of that session emailed to you. Now, for students, remember, always ask for a parent or trusted adult's permission before you enter your email address. For adults, this is simply a way for you to get a copy of what was talked about in the chat so that you can reference it later. So if you got help on something that you think especially you might need to refer to those same notes again, this is a way to get a copy of that so that you can check for it later. You can also print that session, or if you just need a quick replay and you don't need a copy of it, but you did want to look at it one more time, you could just hit replay and it would replay the session for you right in that screen. Hello, I'm glad you could join us. We are going to look at Gale. Gale has a lot of great resources, but today we are going to look at Gale in Context Biography. This is a resource that is really going to be helpful for our students, especially as they start to write book reports and things like that, and maybe do some reports on famous scientists, all kinds of things. So if there is a famous, notable person that kids are going to need to write a report about or learn more about, this is going to be a great tool to help you out. We are going to start at the library's homepage at hcplc.org. You can also get to this resource directly through hcplc.org/homeworkhelp or through hcplc.org/kids. Those are all going to pull up our homework help resources page that you see here. It might be laid out a little bit different, arranged a little bit differently, but all these resources will be grouped together for you. If you are not on one of the library's computers, you're going to log in with your library card number and PIN. Students can use their hall pass to log in. And let's take a look. So, as mentioned, there are lots of different notable people from across all different topics and subject areas. So we're going to look at one example today, but just keep in mind this is going to be for any notable person to get started on their biography. So this resource is helpful for both students and teachers. There are student guides and educator guides within this. You can also really customize what your results are and tailor them by lexile level or reading level to really fine tune what kind of information you're getting. So we'll take a quick look at where to click to make that happen. But you'll also find worksheets and other helpful study guides and general information literacy tools. And especially for our older students, you will find citation tools. So learning how to cite our sources is very important as we go through our academic careers. So this is a great place to get started and having all of that formatting ready to go. Once you are logged in, one of the things that you'll find is a research toolkit. Now, this is especially going to be helpful for our older middle school students and our high school students. Even some of our undergrad students will find these tools useful, but you'll see topics that kind of help you how to learn these things. So how to judge the information, how to determine what is a reliable source, all kinds of things to really build that research brain and those research habits early on. Lots of great tools in here. Definitely check those out. And once we're logged in, you're going to see this menu bar on the page. Now, this menu bar is going to be very, very similar on all of our Gale resources, but the specific things that it does might be a little bit different depending on the resource. So for this, for Gale biography, you're going to be able to browse people. So they've got it specifically set up when you click that browse button to bring you the different people options, the people search options. If you already know who you're specifically looking for, you can do a person search, and that's going to let you find that very specific person that you're looking for the biographical information on. There's also title lists and search histories and different ways of making notes and keeping track of what you're learning. Now, important to remember, if you want to maintain that search history, or if you want to maintain and keep and save those highlights and notes, you will need to create that account within Gale to remember that information for you. But that's the only time it's required to create the account within Gale, is if you want to keep and track those highlights in those study notes. So an example that I pulled up for us is, let's take a look at Bill Nye the Science Guy. So when you first type in a person's name or browse and select someone to look at, this is what you're going to get: a snapshot overview of that person's brief life story, their important biographical data points like when they were born and what they do, and that kind of family information, just who they are as a very, very brief snapshot, and then a short paragraph or two describing them. At the bottom of those, you will find that button that gives you an option to read more, that expands on that some. And then as you scroll down, you will get more information for other sources that give you that bigger picture information. And this is where you can really fine tune what you want to get out of it. So do you want to look specifically at biographies that have already been written? Do you maybe want to find some primary sources, some videos of speeches that they've made, or maybe some news articles about that person? It's going to let you fine tune what kind of information you want to read about that person. It'll also give you an option to look at featured content. So featured content is a great way to get another kind of overview. I said before that we have the ability to really fine tune our results based on reading level or lexile level, and this is going to give you a quick look at what that looks like visually. So when you get your results, you'll see the article name first and then where they pulled that information from. And right below that, it's going to show you when it was published, how many words are in that article or resource, and what category it falls under. But then it's going to give you the number for the lexile level. So this is going to be a great tool for educators and caregivers that are helping their students find information. If you know your learner's lexile level, this will let you filter your results by that range. Or if you're browsing in general and you just want a quick visual reference of what reading level that article is at, you see the 4 dots there, and you'll see the higher number of dots or the lower number of dots. That'll give you a really easy visual indicator of that reading level for your learner. At the bottom of each biography page that you pull up, you will find a link to related topics. So in this case, the related topics are other people that have a similar profession or a similar subject area. So from Bill Nye the Science Guy, they recommended us to look at Stephen Hawking or Carl Sagan or Neil deGrasse Tyson. So it gives you similar things that might give you another idea of where else you might want to look for information, or some other folks you might want to read about. Welcome. I'm glad you could join us today for a look at another one of our great homework help resources. We are going to be looking at World Book Kids. This is going to be a great tool for our younger learners in grades K through 5. Even older, I have fun looking at it sometimes. There are a lot of great fun activities in here, and I can't wait to take a look at this with you. So we are going to start at hcplc.org on our homepage. You can also go through hcplc.org/homeworkhelp or through our hcplc.org/kids option. All of those will bring you to this homework help kind of breakdown. Our World Book Encyclopedia link currently is at the top right-hand corner. Depending on when you're watching this recording, it might be laid out just a little bit differently, but you'll always see these great tools grouped together. Once you click on that, if you're not at the library, it will ask you to log in with your library card number and PIN. For students, you can log in with your hall pass. Once you have that logged in, we're going to look at some of the great options that we have with World Book Encyclopedia and World Book Kids. So we all remember maybe those big encyclopedias with the multiple different books grouped together. This is a huge digital version of that. So lots of different topics, and it really has a lot of great activities built in that to help you explore those topics. You can explore by the age group. There are educator tools in there that have full lesson plans available for topics. There are also whole ebooks in here. So we love our other ebook resources at the library. Keep in mind, you do have World Book that has great ebooks as well. If you're looking for some really fun hands-on activities to support learning about a specific topic, there are craft and science and drama activities that you can look at. There's also original content in both Spanish and French. So check that out if you are speaking English as a second language and want to explore the resource that way, or if you are learning a new language like Spanish or French and you want to support that by learning a specific subject through that language. Give this a try. It's really fun. There are a lot of really great options in here. So once you first logged in, you will see kind of a grid like this on Worldbook that gives you all of these different options that we just mentioned. So we have across the top there, we have the current breakdown by the different age groups that it's really set up to support. We have the ebooks and activity corner for those crafts, and we have our dramatic learning button there as well as our different language options. This is what our activity corner kind of looks like when we first log in. It lets you search by a specific topic or age or grade level that activity is for. It also lets you fine-tune that by how long it takes to do the activity. So some activity might look really fun and great, but if you don't have enough time to complete it with your learners, it's not going to be super helpful. So this kind of lets you really fine-tune how much that takes in terms of time or even the cost of the materials. So check that out. Tons of different activities in there. I love to go in here for inspiration for some of the activities we do at the libraries. So check that out. Have fun with it. And I'll say for most of these, if you run into a supply that you might not have on hand, there's often a workaround for a supply that you could use instead of the recommended one. So take a look at that and let us know how it turns out. We always love to see how some of these activities turn out, and we'd love to see that. Next, we're going to take a quick look at the dramatic learning resource in here. So this is really set up for the parents, caregivers, educators to navigate, to kind of pull up those activities. This is less helpful for students to directly navigate usually. This is more for the teaching tools side of it. You can search the different plays and topics by subject, by age group, same as our other tools there. And it has different ideas for things that you can do. So if you have a budding performer learning with you, this is a great way to support that and to support their love of learning through that. And last but not least, we have our educator tools in here. So this gives you an idea of what it looks like. You can break it down by the curriculum standards for the state, the different grade, and the subject. So take a look at that. There are lesson plans on there, all kinds of things. So many great resources that can help homeschool students and caregivers. So check that out. All kinds of fun activities in there and learning tools. We hope that gave you a good idea of our World Book resource there. I encourage you to take a look at that, explore it. The different age groups really breaks it down, makes those activities really accessible to those learners. They're very different from the resources that are available for our very youngest learners, upwards to our high school students that might find some activities in here in the grades 9 plus under that advanced button. So check that out, have fun with it, explore it, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at hcplc.org/contact or give us a call at 813-273-3652. Thank you, and I hope you'll join us as we look at our next resource. Welcome. I'm glad you could join us today for a look at one of our homework help resources that's really going to help our older learners in middle school and high school. We are looking at Bloom's Literature. This is going to be a great tool for anyone studying in an English language and literature, especially looking at biographical information or literary movements. We are going to start on our homepage at hcplc.org or hcplc.org/homeworkhelp. As you go through and navigate through our menu at the top of the homepage, you can get there through Learning and Research or Services, which will take you to the Kids section. And once you're in that homework help area, we're going to go to Bloom's Literature. If you're not at the library, it will ask you to log in with your library card number and PIN. Students can log in with their hall pass information. Once we're logged in, we're going to have a bunch of resources that we can look at within this tool. One of the big things that we will look at is the curriculum tools. These are broken down by tools for students and tools for teachers to really give you a way to fine-tune that, whether you're the one teaching it or the one learning it. You can browse by the author, by the character, by the literary movement, all different options to just casually browse if you're not sure specifically what you want to look at yet, or you can search by that specific person or title. There's also a section called Most Studied or Other Featured Content that gives you some of the highlights that other people often look at or that they found is very popular. And there are also tools that not only teach you about a topic, but how to write or research about a topic to give you really build those research and writing skills that are so important as we're finishing up our high school, maybe getting ready for college, that kind of thing. We're really building those research and writing skills, and this is going to give you some great strategies. It also gives you the option to just browse by resource. So depending on, instead of looking for a specific topic to browse through, it also gives you the option to browse by that resource type. So once you're logged in, you'll see this info base kind of standard menu option that pops up, where you can find those different browsing and searching tools. As we're browsing resources, this gives you an idea of what that looks like, where you can browse by indexes or essay topics, timelines, all different kinds of things. So if you don't have a specific topic in mind yet, this can be a great way to navigate that. You'll see on there, it also mentions that there are full text for some stories and poems and classic literature, so check that out as well. This kind of gives you an idea of the different tools available for students and for educators, and how it kind of looks at some of these topics from both sides of the same issue. So for students, it's going to help them learn how to, for example, figure out what plagiarism is, to learn what it is so that they can avoid doing it. And on the educator side of it, it gives the educators tools for preventing plagiarism, for example, by educating students what it even is. So looking at the same kind of topic learning-wise from the student and educator perspective. These are really helpful. We also did an in-depth look at Bloom's literature in one of our previous programs that really goes in and looks at some of the nitty-gritty aspects of it. It looks at it through Edgar Allan Poe's Annabel Lee as the example text that they used when they were looking at this resource. So if you wanted to take a look at that in-depth look, you can get to it on our YouTube channel. So youtube.com/Tampa Hills Lib will bring up the library's YouTube page. And all you do is you just type in either Bloom's literature into our search bar, or the Spotlight on playlist would also bring up that topic for you. So check that out for a more in-depth look at Bloom's literature. Hello, thanks for joining me as we take a look at some of our resources for middle school students. So this one is going to be looking at Learning Express grades 4 through 8. So this bridges that gap between our later primary school and our middle school students. And these tools are really geared for our parents and educators and caregivers to help our learners in these grades. You'll get to it by logging into hcplc.org or going through hcplc.org/homeworkhelp and navigating through our tabs at the top of the page, either Learning and Research or the Services, which will bring you to the hcplc.org/kids page. No matter how you get there, you will find our Homework Help resources grouped together. We're going to click on that Learning Express grades 4 through 8. Log in with our library card number and PIN, or for students, you can log in with a hall pass. This is a tool that's going to give us the resources that we need for that little bit of extra help getting ready for tests, standardized tests, and assignments. This age group's resource is really focusing on that later elementary school, middle school age group. For the elementary school students, it's looking at math and English language skills. That's all that they're focusing on for that group. For our middle school student, it's going to expand that somewhat and add in social studies and the high school entrance exams, or those standardized tests that are going to help our students get ready for that next level of education. All these tools are going to be kind of grouped together, and within that you'll also see options that we will look at separately for our high school and adult learners. We hope that helped you navigate to this tool for the parents and educators of our grades 4 through 8 students. I'd love to see if you explore that. If you have any questions on how to use those tools or how to log in, you can reach out to us at hcplc.org/contact or give us a call at 813-273-3652. Hello. Thank you for joining me as we take a look at one of our Homework Help resources specifically tailored to our high school learners. We are going to look at Learning Express High School and look at some of the ways it can support our high school students. You'll navigate to this resource through hcplc.org or hcplc.org/homeworkhelp. You can navigate using our tabs at the top of the page, either Learning and Research or Services, which will get you to hcplc.org/kids. No matter how you navigate, you'll pull up this Homework Help grouping of resources. We'll click on that Learning Express High School button and log in with our library card number and PIN. Students will be able to log in with their hall pass. Once we're logged in, we have a lot of options that we can look at depending on what skill we're trying to improve. So it's going to cover math, English, science, social studies, technology, and logic and reasoning. It's also going to give you additional resources for high school equivalency preparation, so anyone getting ready for their GED, or college prep or career preparation. So for our high school students that are looking at career preparation, it's going to let you learn more about a career and the kind of skills that you'll need to build to get into that field. And it also supports job search and work placement skills. So these are going to be really helpful to our high school students getting ready to enter the workforce or getting ready for college, as well as supporting learning for specific high school subjects. So no matter which path you're going with that, there are tools in here that can help you get ready for that. For any adults watching this, there are also loads of resources for adults in the workforce here, especially in terms of job preparation and resume building. So check this out for high school students and adults. We hope this look at our Learning Express High School resource was helpful. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at hcplc.org/contact or give us a call at 813-273-3652. Let us know if you have any questions, and we hope you will join us again as we look at our next homework help resource. Hello, I'm glad you could join us for a look at one of our most fun homework help resources, my personal favorite, Mango Languages. We're going to take a quick look at what is available and what it can do. And it's going to be a resource for language learning, for learning a foreign language or a new language, or supporting learning English as a second language. You will get to it by going to our library homepage at hcplc.org or directly through hcplc.org/homeworkhelp. On the library's homepage, you can navigate through our tabs at the top, either through Learning and Research or through Services for that hcplc.org/kids option. Once you're in that homework help category, you'll see Mango Languages is currently on the right. However, keep in mind that if you're looking at this video maybe a little bit later, it might be arranged slightly differently, but you'll always see these great resources grouped together. Now you may be asked to log in with your library card number and PIN. Students can log in with their hall pass. Once you are on Mango Languages, you'll have a bunch of different options. So Mango is set up to really support that language learning in over 70 different languages. It's going to be a mixture of learning direct vocabulary, but also learning that pronunciation and grammar, the cultural aspects. It really builds on those language skills. So it'll start off at a very easy level to kind of gauge where you're at with your learning, and then builds and builds as you go along. And as mentioned, this also supports ESL learning for learners of English no matter what age. It does give you the option to learn your new language based on your first language or your mother tongue. So if English is not your first language and you're learning a new language, you could change that language that you're starting from to whatever you might need. Once you log in, it'll give you the option to pick a language. So you can either type that in or browse by buttons. So you'll see some of the most common languages are going to be right there on that front page. You can browse the other ones by expanding that list. You'll even see some fun options like learning how to speak like a pirate. So if you are maybe getting ready for Gasparilla or doing some pirate themed learning, this might be a fun option to learn how to talk like a pirate. So we have the very helpful, serious languages there, but there's also some fun thrown in there with that as well. Check that out. I love this resource for all different age groups. It's a really great way to kind of naturally build those language skills, and you can also download it as an app on a mobile device. For students, just make sure you have a caregiver or a trusted adult's permission before you install a new app. But if you're installing an app, you would first create that account through Mango Languages with your library card and then log into the app with it. We hope that gave you a nice quick look at Mango Languages. I love this tool. I hope you enjoy it as well. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at hcplc.org/contact or give us a call at 813-273-3652. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this program and join us for our next homework help resource. Hello, thank you for joining us for another look at one of our great homework help resources at the library. We are going to be looking at a resource that's going to be super helpful for our students up through about the end of middle school. So our novelist K-8+ resource. This is going to be a resource that's going to help us find books on different topics and develop that love of reading and finding our great reading recommendations based on what our interests are or what we're trying to read more about. So let's take a look and see how to get there. We are going to start at our homepage, hcplc.org or hcplc.org/homework help. You can navigate through the menu bar at the top of our homepage, either through that learning and research or through the services, which would bring you to our hcplc.org/kids page. No matter how you navigate that, you will find our homework help resources all kind of grouped together. Our novelist K-8+ is currently towards the bottom of this grid here. Depending on when you're looking at this video, it might be arranged slightly differently, but you'll always see them grouped together. Once you get there, you can log in with your library card number and PIN. Students will be able to log in with their hall pass. Once you've pulled that resource up, we're going to look at finding those read-alike recommendations, especially for our younger readers through, like I said, about the end of middle school. We'll be able to fine-tune that based on reading level and interest and really find those great reads for our students. We'll start by taking a look at the menu bar. So when you've logged in, you've got the quick buttons at the top to navigate, or you'll have that keyword search. So if you have a reader or if you are a reader and you know that you're looking for a specific topic that you like your books to be about, you can just type that topic in. Or if you have a favorite author, you can type that into the keyword search and just get a general recommendation of what to look at based on that information. But we can also really fine tune our reading recommendations. So on the main page, you'll find different recommended reading lists for teens, for our middle school students, and for our younger readers, kind of grouped together. So these are pre-ready to go lists of recommended reads, but they're not really fine-tuned by subject or interest area. So we'll look at a little bit more about how to fine-tune that. So this is going to give you the broad age browsing, but you can also, within each age group, browse by more specifically what you're looking for. Are you looking for comedic books, things that are funny, things that'll have you laughing, or maybe some more action adventure type books? This kind of gives you the option to fine tune what you're looking for based on, what the feel of the book is, what it's like. Within that, you can, once you pull that list up, you can narrow that down further by Lexile level and other things, but this is going to give you those big, broad topics. Within the recommended read list, you can also toggle between fiction and nonfiction. So if you have just a subject maybe pulled up, you can look at fictional books about that topic or nonfiction books. One of my favorite things about Novelist Plus, whether it's the novelist K through 8 or the regular novelist for older teens and adults is the Appeals Mixer. Appeal Mixer really lets you get books that you might never have stumbled across based on a very fine-tuned list of what you like. So you can select different categories and get very specific with what you're wanting to read. Do you want a book that has lots of action, maybe a little bit of a, a character arc that's very dramatic, or so really detailed, like down to the nitty gritty of what kinds of things that you like in books, and then lets you find recommendations based on that. So if you have a very picky reader, this might be a way to fine tune your reading recommendation. Or if you think you've read everything that you like already, this might be a way for you to find books that you have not run across yet that still fit what you enjoy reading. We have done some more in-depth look at the Appeals Mixer and the novelist resources for adults and teens on one of our previous programs called Next Reads. You can get to that by going to the library's YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/TampaHillsLib. If you type in Next Reads into that search bar, it'll pull that right up for you and give you that more in-depth look at the novelist resources and how to navigate them and how to fine-tune that Appeals Mixer to get just the right book for you. Hello, thank you for joining us for a look at one of our homework help resources. Now, this is an extra special resource because this is the resource that will help you find lots of other resources. We are going to look at Ask a Librarian. Ask a Librarian is a great tool for when you're stuck and trying to find information and you just can't remember where to go to find it. You can reach out to us through our Ask a Librarian tool, and that will put you in digital touch with one of us at the library to help you find that. We're going to start at hcplc.org/homeworkhelp. You would scroll to the bottom of the page. You can also get to it on the library homepage by going to our contact button. Once you're on our homework help page, you're going to scroll to the bottom there and click on that Ask Us Now button. That's going to pull up the big Ask a Librarian page. Like I said, you can also get to it through hcplc.org/contact. And once you pull that up, you're going to have the option to text, chat, or email with one of us, one of your local Hillsborough County librarians, and that is a virtual reference service. So this is going to help you research your topic or find those tools to help you get the information that you need. It's live, it's available whenever the library is open. If you are a student, always make sure that you have a parent or trusted adult's permission before chatting with anyone online, even with the library. Always make sure you have that permission first, but we would love to help you find that information. It's a nice, easy way to get to those resources. We can't always remember all the tons of things that are available. And if you're stuck and you need help and you're trying to find the right tool, this is an easy way to do that without having to actually pick up a phone to do it. I know a lot of us would rather text or chat with someone to get help, and this is how you can do it with one of us. Once you've got that pulled up, this is kind of what the menu looks like, where it has your different text, chat, or email options. If you're looking at this outside of the library's open hours, it's the live chat option, it'll go automatically to a different Florida library. But if it's the email or the chat or the text option that you send, if it's outside of our library hours, We will get to it as soon as we reopen it. They will find the logs of everyone who reached out overnight, and they'll respond to you that way.
Hello, thank you for joining me as we take a look at possibly one of our most important homework help resources. We are going to take a look at the Hall Pass. For those of you who are new to the county, new to our schools, Hall Pass is a resource available to all Hillsborough County students, and we'll get into how that can be used in a moment. We are going to start by getting the information on this at our homepage, hcplc.org or hcplc.org/hallpass. That's HAALPASS. You can also find information on hcplc.org/kids that you can find on our services tab on the homepage. On that kids page, you will find a quick link to our Hall Pass there where you can find out more details. So this is a resource that's available to all Hillsborough County Public School students, just logging in with their student ID. So a lot of the great homework help resources that we've talked about, that we've looked at, require you to log in with a library card. Students who are in Hillsborough County schools, that's a Hillsborough County Public School, Charter School, or Hillsborough County Virtual School, if you have a 7-digit student ID, there is a default PIN that most students know, and if you don't, just check with the library. There's a default PIN that you can use. But with that, you can log into these resources without a full library card. So this is going to be especially tailored to students. It allows them to borrow up to 3 physical items from any public library branch. It allows downloading of ebooks and audiobooks. In our Tutor.com resource, you can connect with live online tutors and get homework help that way. And it lets you use all these great resources for research and getting those articles and e-magazines and reference books through all of these digital tools. So whether it's a physical item that you need to check out or one of our digital resources, the Hall Pass lets you do that with that student ID and PIN. All Hillsborough County Public School students are automatically enrolled in this. That's a default through our partnership with the schools. Logging in with a student ID and PIN. This Hall Pass is not tied to any other library card or account. It is strictly the student school ID number. And what that means is that parents can still sign up for students for a full regular library card if they want to, but by default, they'll already have that Hall Pass available to them. Parents can opt out of this program. There's a form that they can complete for that. But for those of you who are using this great resource, I encourage you to use that to check out all of our great homework help resources. And this is an easy way for our students to make sure they can log in and access that. If you have any problems logging in with it, if you get any errors on it, just check in with either your local branch or give us a call or reach out to us on our contact page. The Ask a Librarian I just pulled up, that is another way that you can talk to one of our library staff to get help with that account. Or you can reach out to us at hcplc.org/contact or give us a call 813-273-3652. We would love to see you in branches or reach out to us that way if you have any questions about the Hall Pass or logging in with your student ID. We hope that helps, and we hope you use that great resource to check out all of these homework help tools that are available to you. We'll see you again soon.